Hey folks, today is Friday, January 19th, 2018. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, here every Friday to talk about video game stuff that is going on. Clearly, we're still in a temporary situation. We're at Andrew the new guy's house. Thanks, Andrew. Okay. Where do I go from that? Jumping right into the news, the first thing we got to talk about is some real-world stuff with one of my favorite games right now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and China. If you have been playing PUBG a lot, you're probably aware that there aren't region-locked servers with China, and there is a lot of cheating going on, and it looks like Tencent, the people behind PUBG, and the Chinese government are actually working together to crack down on cheaters hardcore. This week, the Chinese police announced that they arrested 120 people connected with PUBG cheating.
Good.
While it sounds really crazy for people just cheating in a video game, they were arrested not just for the cheating, but also for creating and selling black market cheats. That's basically the more illegal part and why the police went after them. But these guys were making substantial money with a whole ring, apparently, of selling cheats and hacks for PUBG, and it seems like they could actually face jail time for this. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. Do you think that's too harsh or not harsh enough, or are you just happy to see PUBG possibly have less cheaters? But moving on real quick, we just want to mention our Discord, which is kind of popping off right now. Discord.gg/gameranx. You can sign in, go in, hop in there, talk with me, the video boys. Falcon pops in for Q&As. There's all these different channels where you can find like-minded gameranx fans and send us news tips and just talk about different types of games and hopefully make some new friends. We're still trying to get the word out, so if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. But the other big thing going on in the news this week is, of course, Nintendo and Nintendo Labo. If you missed this, Nintendo announced this whole new initiative. They're going to be selling these cardboard printed out products that you yourself will put together. They work with the Switch's IR sensor and vibration functions and stuff like that, essentially giving the Nintendo Switch and its accessories more of a toy-like style of play. And I gotta say, a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm into this. But we have to acknowledge, at first, a lot of people are hating on this, and I get it, because it's clearly for kids. It isn't really for us. But if you are the type of person, like me, who still, sadly plays with toys, right? Like, I don't know. I want to get this. It looks impossible. I'm bad with my hands. It looks like it's going to be really hard to put together for me, let alone a 7-year-old kid. There's a variety of different functions that this trailer showed off that they are going to do. There are a couple on sale right now for pre-order, and they're really expensive. That, for me, I think is the biggest caveat. The cardboard does, of course, come with a game and possibly some circuitry built in, but that's still kind of a lot of money, especially considering it is cardboard and you can break it.
Starting at $69.99 on 420.
Yeah, that's so funny. So I don't know where this is going to land. I'm not rooting for it to flop, like some people are. They just see things and they just want it to fail. I want it to succeed, but I don't know how it will. I'm also a little nervous to get my hands on something that does cost like $60-$70 and then break it before I even finish putting it together. And you know what? It is Nintendo. Some people will call it a gimmick. For this, I give them points for trying. At the very least, I'm happy to see some good GIFs and memes come out of this. But speaking of points for trying, let's talk about this eSports player in a recent interview with Kotaku that popped up. In an interview with the Overwatch pro Lucas Mendokusai Hackinson, it was revealed that he owes some of his success thanks to his father coming around and kind of opening up to the fact that he plays games and wants to go pro, and pulled him out of school.
How sick is that?
Is that sick? That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool. He said in the interview that initially the plan was for him to take a year off from school in Sweden where he lived, but ultimately his dad decided, hey, let's go for this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to pull you out of school. And then essentially for the next few years, they lived and he trained like Rocky, where he played stuff like Overwatch and CSGO while his dad cooked him food and took care of him so he could just focus on playing the game and getting better. And now look, it worked out for him. Mendokusai is a pro Overwatch player for the Houston team. Shout out to him for having a cool dad that supported him like that. It's tricky. Like, even for us doing stuff like this, my parents did not understand it. But moving on, if you remember last week, if you did watch last Friday, we discussed a big rumor about a potential new Fable game being in the works, quote unquote, a Fable 4. Me, and all of us here, big fans of Fable, was pretty excited, and now there's a little bit more rumor fan to the flame, rumor fuel to the fire? Rumor fuels? There's been a bit more fuel added to the fire in terms of the rumor mill, because now there is word going around that there is a dedicated English studio working on the Fable game, and that studio is none other than Playground, the developers behind the Forza Horizon games. And That's a very interesting pick. Number one, it's more of an in-house studio that Microsoft is used to working with, so it makes sense if Microsoft is looking to just get a big new RPG for the Xbox, which I will say I think they need it. Also, Playground is interesting because while they do make racing games, the Forza Horizon games, they do a good job of creating worlds. It is, of course, a completely different type of thing, but the Forza Horizon games do have a good sense of fun, personality, and beauty, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. That's, of course, if any of this is actually true. This could all just be rumors still. But the newest sources from Eurogamer look even stronger than the last rumor we looked at, so who knows? But spinning off with more Xbox news, I don't know if you guys care about this, but we do. That Duke controller that is getting re-released that we talked about, it's officially going to be dropping in March, they announced, for the tune of $69.99. Nice. But briefly in some other news, every once in a while I try and give you guys something to read, a good long article to read, because we spend so much time talking about video games here, we might as well be read up on them. So this week what I have for you to read is a pretty interesting interview with one of the heads behind Remedy Entertainment, the guys who made Quantum Break, Max Payne, Alan Wake, stuff like that. This is a gamesindustry.biz article, and it's pretty interesting because he goes in depth with how the AAA gaming market is becoming far too expensive, and he speaks about how Remedy's next game is jumping to multiplayer because it can be more long-term sustainable, which bums me out, but still food for thought, and it's an interesting article to read, so check it out. It's linked in the description below, as well as everything else we talk about this week. And also, I don't know if you guys missed it, but Fortnite has announced an update to its Battle Royale map, and it is much more impressive now. There's a couple of new areas like Tilted Towers, Junk Junction, and it's just a better way of adding variety to the environment that some of you guys have been spending a lot of time in. We were jumping in just before. It does look pretty cool, so I'm curious to see if you guys are down with it. And in case you missed it, Square Enix dropped a trailer for the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. This is like a re-release with all the content, and it's the PC version, and it's all dropping on March 6th. And all I'm gonna say to this, I'm usually okay with Game of the Year re-releases and editions and stuff, but I spent so many hours playing Final Fantasy 15 when it came out, and I did love it. But now I see that it's a completely different game. Like, they weren't even close to being finished with the game. That's not that big of a complaint, but it does jam me up. What do you think? But something I did not expect to be talking about, we don't have a lot of information about it, but we have been talking about it recently. If you guys saw, we did a video asking the question, what killed the Prince of Persia series? And a lot of you guys responded to it pretty well. We were pretty passionate about it. And someone had actually tweeted Jordan Mechner, the creator of the original Prince of Persia game, about bringing back the series, and he responded. He said to the person, hey, I know a few other people who feel the same way. We're doing our best to make it happen. I'm very curious to see what that means, what that could entail, because as far as I know, Ubisoft still has the publishing rights to Prince of Persia as a series, and judging with the fact that how much they've doubled down on Assassin's Creed right now, I don't know how much interest they have in a Prince of Persia game, so maybe they would work with Jordan Mechner to do some sort of original revival classic style game. I don't know. Either way though, I will say they have worked on things, they have scrapped things. I do think the world is ready for more Prince of Persia in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what exactly, but I kind of want it. I don't know how you guys are feeling about that, but Sands of Time was one of my favorite games ever made. But we got one more thing we got to do. That's that console giveaway we do every single week. Every week, there's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this cat right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox and your spam box. Tom's going to be getting in touch with you to figure out how we can send you your console. But now we got to talk about all the stuff going on this week. First and foremost, what do you want from a new Fable game? I'm really excited. Like, that's like the most exciting thing if this actually happens. I just downloaded Fable 2 to replay. Also, with the Chinese police arresting 120 cheaters for PUBG, do you think it's going to make a difference, or do you think more has to be done? And would you like to quit school to become a pro gamer? Do you think you have it in you? Do you think you have what it takes to become the very best like no one ever was?
Fuck you, Jake Bell.
Fuck you, shut up. Have you jumped into Fortnite with the new update, and are you willing to jump back into Final Fantasy 15 with the new content, or have you been playing as it's gone along? I want to know what you guys are thinking about this stuff. Let's talk down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys, but if you got anything else for me, you probably know where to find me by now. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as well. And we'll see you guys over at the Discord. But as usual, thank you guys for coming around here. Clicking the like button does help us out. We do really appreciate it. And if for some reason you are new, you should subscribe because we put out videos every single week. And I'm yapping at you guys over here every Friday. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.